when the Colorado Buffaloes were on offense, and number 0, whoever number 0 was, remember the movie The Program? Remember the movie The Program and Lattimore? And to watch him dominate the offensive line like that.
8'8". 8'8". To Garrett. You're a dead man.
It kind of reminded me of, okay, now we're right back at square one like we were last year.
And so here we go again. Welcome back to the Dark Times channel. And before I get started, make sure you guys go and hit that like button for me. And if you're not new to the channel and you've been enjoying the content so far on this channel, make sure you guys go and hit that subscribe button for me as well. And so as everybody knows by now, Colorado lost yesterday 28-10 to Nebraska. And it was a little disappointing. Not because of the loss, but because it was a little bit of the same from the previous year.
Watching the offseason, watching the recruiting process, seeing some of the players that left and some of the players that were coming, my thoughts had completely changed on me thinking the Colorado Buffs were going to look a little different. Now, the important part for them in being able to compete with the schools that are better would be the interior, the offensive line and the defensive line.
And so just like Ocho Cinco, a lot of us thought the same. You know, watching the recruiting process, watching all the different transfers come through, watching the defensive line get a little bit bigger, watching the offensive line get a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger. We got the number 1 left tackle in the nation, but so far it looks like they're struggling with a lot of the same issues. But when I look at this loss and I look at the Nebraska team, I don't think this loss is as bad as a lot of people are making it out to be.
No one can flip a roster that bad and have a playoff contender a year ago. So they were never a playoff contender. And if you take the context of they went from 1-11 to 4-8, by the way, played a bunch of close games. That's the other thing nobody talks about. They went from losing games by 30 and 40 points the year before to losing by a touchdown or 6 points or whatever. I think they had 4 or 5 losses last year by a touchdown or less.
Should have beat SC.
Should have beat SC. By the way, walk-off field goal against an Arizona team that won 10 games. Arizona has a walk-off. You could go on and on down the list. So it's like, so to sit there and say, oh, this team isn't what. Well, who made them out to be that? I didn't say, anyone with a brain didn't think they were a national championship. So
now we'll go ahead and say this. Deion Sanders puts a lot of pressure on himself and then on his team as well, just by his demeanor and his presence alone.
Father, they say most African-American men are not great fathers, but the devil is a lie.
Amen.
See, one thing about a father, a real father, I don't care what ethnicity, if you say something about his kids, it's personal. If you say something about his woman, it's personal. If you just come on his property and do something that you have no business doing, it gets personal. And the reason it's so personal to me is they said something about my kids. You think I'm gonna let them talk about y'all and they ain't gonna be personal? You think I'm gonna let them doubt y'all and they ain't gonna be personal? You think I'm gonna let them naysay y'all and they ain't gonna get personal? You think I'm gonna let them say all the stuff that they said and that we don't have and we prove that we have it, and even when we prove that we had it, they said it wasn't real. Therefore, guess what? I respect the head coach a lot. He said some things. He tried to back off of it. But it's too late because it's this is personal. I feel like every one of y'all are my babies. And I love you to life. And I know how y'all feel about me and the coaching staff and the support staff. Therefore, today, it ain't no regular game. See, y'all just want to win. When it's personal, I want to dominate. Knowing that I want to dominate, give me my theme music.
Some of the reasons why a lot of people can't stand Deion Sanders are the very same reasons why a lot of us appreciate Deion Sanders. Because he can be real. He can be his true, authentic self. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with giving your team confidence. There's nothing wrong with giving a legit answer when somebody asks you, how do you think your team's going to do? How do you think your team's going to perform? What do you want him to say? And maybe the world has gotten so used to people being fake and phony out there that we don't expect anything else. And so when you see somebody who's authentic, whether you like it or not, it's a problem. But I will say this in regards to Colorado and how they played last night. If we're being honest and we're being 100, one of the issues that I see with Colorado is Shedeur Sanders. And him being worried about his stats and his completion rate. Because there was way too many times during that game where he held on to the ball too long and he could have easily thrown it away instead of taking a sack, instead of taking the loss of yards.
You got to be able to protect your quarterback, and you got to be able to pressure the quarterback. And sometimes it's okay to throw the ball away. Mm-hmm. It's okay to throw the ball away and make it 2nd and 10. It's okay to throw the ball away and make it 3rd and 7. I know it's going to look bad on your stats, but look, at this point in time, there's nothing. Completion percentage is not, they're not going to elevate Shedeur Sanders up or down because they're evaluating him, says that's a smart play.
Right.
He didn't take a sack. He didn't take an unnecessary hit by throwing the ball away late.
Yeah.
Just throw the ball away. Throw it away. It's okay. If I'm looking at Shedeur, I'm looking at how well he processes information. I'm looking at how well he goes from 1 to 2 to 3, if possible. Check down, throw the ball away. That's what I'm looking at. Oh, he got a 75% completion percentage versus a 65. Okay, where's the 10% drop off? Oh, that was a good throwaway right there, Ocho. Avoided the sack, avoided the loss, kept him in field goal range. I'm processing the entirety of the game. I'm not looking at no completion percentage because I'm not going to elevate him or downgrade him based on that. I will elevate or downgrade him based on the decisions that he makes and what I can say he should have known better than to take that sack. He should have thrown that ball away. He knew better than
And so that's one of the things that they need to work on, especially Shedeur Sanders, is just throwing the ball away, getting rid of that ball. Stop worrying about your completion rate so much. But then on the flip side of that, I do see the angle in which they're coming from, because at the end of the season, nobody's going to look at that completion rate and have any sympathy for Shedeur Sanders. People are going to look at that completion rate and say, hey, he doesn't complete his passes. He only completes 60% of his passes. And they had a losing record. And so it's almost, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. And so I get that part of it. But there's times where he can definitely get rid of the ball. And instead of putting his team in 2nd and 10, a lot of the times he's putting his team in 2nd and 15 and 2nd and 20. And so those are some of the things that he can definitely improve on, and trying to find the balance in which to throw the ball away and get out of the pocket, and just doing what he has to do to be able to put his team in a better position to try to move the ball down the field. But like I said in the beginning, this loss wasn't as bad as a lot of people are making it out to be. You're talking about a Nebraska team that was top 25 in recruiting. They were number 19 overall in recruiting for the 2024 season, and Colorado was ranked number 91. And so we're comparing apples to oranges, really, and we got to give this thing a little more time, as we all thought. But that's going to be a wrap on this one. But you guys go ahead and let me know how y'all feel below in the comment section, and I'm going to try to be as active in there as I can. And as usual, peace and chaos.